I'm on holiday, playing catch up a little bit. How do I keep momentum with referral relationship stuff while I'm on holiday? So what do I do? And I'm just going to dip in and out every 20 minutes a day, do a little thing. What do you think?
So if I'm going on holiday, let's look at this two different ways. If I'm going on holiday, I know about it and I prepare in advance, or if I'm on holiday now and what can I do a little bit? Because I'm a big fan of if you're truly on holiday, sometimes like let's be on a holiday. And so if we can prepare in advance, then we can kind of keep things going without letting them dip, but we have to be in advance. And so I pull out my handy dandy networking scorecard, which I know both of you here on the call are familiar with. And I kind of want to look at what are the activities on the networking scorecard that I can do in advance, because this way I can kind of prep it a little bit to get ready. So if I look at the very top, sending a note card, could I create a stack of mail that I'm going to pop into the post every couple of days? Could I even, if I'm like traveling somewhere, have cards ready to send from that place? One gal, one time, now this was actually me, another gal did it. She had labels that she put on the postcards. I like putting the actual name on the postcards. So I have my list of 10 people that I wanted to send postcards to from that other area. So I'd get at least in the US, it was the same postage, but I got the postcards and I had the list. And so I jotted it down early in the morning. But you could also create the mailing to go out that you've written in advance. So you don't even have to do it on vacation. So it kind of depends on where you're going, what your preference is. Sending a gift, again, you could kind of prep in advance, whether you're sending it, you're ordering it online. Sometimes I know you can pick delivery. So you could send that gift to keep the momentum going. Sending an article of interest. So I love the fact nowadays that Google will let you schedule emails. So sometimes if I'm working on the weekend, or let's say I'm up super early or super late and I happen to be in my emails, but I don't want people to see that I'm, doing emails at 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning, then I will schedule it to go out Monday. So that way it doesn't look like I'm working per se, because I don't want people, like, I don't mind if people know, hey, I work on the weekend, but I don't want people to anticipate that I will respond. And for me, it's not as much weekend, weekday, it's what works for my schedule. Last week, I was doing a lot of walking and talking with my sister, who is a waitress. So she usually works at night. And so we will talk at like 9 o'clock in the morning and walk at the same time. Now, 10 o'clock, we decided it was too hot because it was way hot last week, though not as hot as it's been in Britain. Y'all have us beat for sure. But I was taking that time. So for me, if I'm taking my mornings off to spend with my sister in another state, but we're talking on the phone, I don't mind, spending an hour on my email on the weekend. It's about balance. So there's that. But I can schedule articles of interest. I can find that picture, I could find that article, that video, and schedule it to go out to the people in my network. So I love doing it in that way, because it just gives me the opportunity to have it there. Now you could go old school, and if it's a printed article, or even you print out the article or the meme, like, I know it's weird to think about, let me print out a meme and put it in an envelope and mail it. But I mean, how many times have you gotten printed memes in your email? I mean, in your actual mailbox? Not often. People aren't doing it. And so if we think about how do we stand out? Now, to me, the how are you doing phone calls, if I'm on vacation, I don't want to talk to people. I barely want to talk to people as it is. So I'm probably not doing how are you doing phone calls on vacation. I can't do one-to-ones if I'm not working. I can create some connections. So as I'm moving down the networking scorecard, and for those of you that might be watching this video, like, what is the networking scorecard? This is a tool we use to help us measure accountability inside Incentives Ignite Your Business program. But one of the activities is connect two people around a personal and a business interest. And so again, with that idea of scheduling emails, you could schedule the email to go out while you're gone, creating that connection. As we get into the 16 relationship builders, probably the one that I really want to touch on well, there's two, but one that really is my favorite is testimonials. Testimonials are really powerful. And so could you write the testimonial and schedule that email to go out? Or what I've started doing is I create video testimonials, and I know videos are Jennifer's favorite thing in the entire world. I've started creating video testimonials, and so I can schedule them on my YouTube channel. I uploaded 3 video testimonials on Friday, but I don't want them all to be published at the same time. So I've got like one that went out this Saturday, one that's going to go out next Saturday, one the next Saturday. However, if I'm on vacation, could I schedule those video testimonials for other people? And so I could do that while I'm gone. Or again, I could create it in my Google and have it emailed to them. Oftentimes, when I'm posting a testimonial for somebody on LinkedIn, on Facebook, I will email it to them and say, hey, this is what I'm planning on saying. Are there any edits or tweaks that you'd like me to make? And so you can schedule that to go out. So they've got that testimonial, you get the points for that week, and then you just schedule it when you get back. The other thing that you could be doing is publishing an article on somebody's behalf. And this could be in your newsletter. This could be on your LinkedIn. LinkedIn has a whole separate section for articles. It could be on your blog if you have one. You could schedule and post an article that they've written and given to you on their behalf. As I'm just going down the scorecard here, y'all, arranging a speaking engagement, to me, that's a little bit harder to do when you're not in it. Creating referrals. I know some people like to create referrals when you're out of town. And if that works for you, that's fine. Like when I go on vacation, I don't want to talk to anybody. Talking to strangers has worked for me. My husband's like, let's make friends on the cruise ship and we'll hang out and we'll drink. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to people I don't know. That is work, dear. This is like the only people I want to make friends with on the cruise ship is the bartenders. Like those are the people I want to be friendly with. I don't want to talk to strangers. So we have met some pretty interesting and cool people. So some people are like just natural networkers and create the referrals. If that's you, go for it. That is not me. When it gets down to events, like I'm not really typically inviting people to events if I'm not talking to them. Though with social media, here's where you can schedule, at least on Facebook, I know you can schedule on a business or a fan page. Can't really schedule on a personal page, but you could schedule to do some social media activities on behalf of your referral sources while you're gone. And if you wanted to post on a page that doesn't have the scheduling, one hack that I do sometimes is if I want to post something on social media on Tuesday, but I've got time to write it today, I might write it and then I schedule it to email to myself Tuesday afternoon. So then when I'm like, oh, what am I going to post today? All I have to do is go cut and paste. And then that way I'm still able to do the social media aspect of it without necessarily having to do the work or take the time, hashtags and all that fun stuff. So that's kind of if I know I'm going on vacation, if I know that I'm going to have the time for that, like, let me get prepared. Now, if I'm on vacation this week and I didn't do the prep, then, it's kind of is what it is. And that's okay. Like to me, and life happens sometimes, what happens if you get sick? I know my life pretty much shut down when Callie passed away. I did the bare minimum for about 2 weeks because just mentally I was like, screw it. So what do we do then? And that's when sometimes I think about, okay, what's my biggest bang for my buck? So if I've only got time, I only want to do 20 or 30 minutes a day. Okay, can I get anybody a speaking engagement? Because that's worth 20 points on the scorecard. Can I find anybody a high level referral? Because that's quick and, because that's a high point. So sometimes I'll begin to kind of look at that, is it easy for me to do on the social media? And then sometimes it can be about what systems do you have in place? I know for me, it's not too hard if I have the addresses handy. I have my handy dandy Chartis lunchbox that sits on my desk as decoration. That's my excuse. But inside of it, I've got my stamps and stickers and cards. And then I have my postcards that I've got. So it's really easy for me to grab. It doesn't take me time. Let me go get this here, that here. So as long as I have the addresses, I can easily grab and pop in a couple of cards. I'm a big fan of, we have the Dollar Tree over here, which is now $1.25, inflation and all of that. But they have super cute cards that are still 2 for $1. And so I'll go in and, randomly grab cards, especially when there's holidays that have cards. They don't really have 4th of July cards. I probably think the next holiday that we'll have coming around with cards will be at Halloween. So I send out Halloween cards every year. I typically send out Thanksgiving cards. To the ladies, I will send out Valentine's Day cards. I don't to the men because I don't want the wives being like, why is she sending you a Valentine's Day card? Though there are some people, Jason Avery, I sent his wife a Valentine's Day card, and because he doesn't care and she loves him anyway. And so, you can do some fun holidays or just because. So if you have those nearby, and sometimes even, I know I mentioned speaking engagements, but I like to host lives and I haven't been doing them much lately, but I am starting again in September. So I'll be doing lives every week. So if, I'm thinking, okay, in September, I'm going to do lives. Could I line up my next 4 guests? So Mike, maybe it's, hey, I want to do some lives. Let me line up my next 4 guests. That gives you 80 points on the scorecard from blocking down 4 people that you're creating the speaking engagement or the interview for. So it gives you that opportunity to get some big bang for your points. And I think sometimes we have to give ourselves grace, and this probably isn't as much for the holidays, but if you got sick or if there's a loss or if just mental health we need, sometimes we have to give ourselves the grace to take a step back and be okay taking the break. As long as we're okay when our marketing and referral activity dips, then down the road, we're not going to have as many referrals. So yeah, we have to watch that roller coaster. And so sometimes it is worth 30 minutes a day just to get it going. And it depends on your vacation schedule. When it's just Rob and I traveling, I usually don't do a lot of work. When we travel with our friends, Chris and Stacy, and if you hear me at all, we're there. We hang out with them all the time. They're our puppy's godparents. We were there this weekend playing rock band with them. I know Stacy is not a morning person. Like, she's happy to sleep till 9 or 10. I'm up at 5 a.m. On vacation, like Sunday, I slept until 7:30. Yeah, way late sleeping until 7:30. And the puppy slept until 7:30 too, which was crazy because usually they're up about 5:30. But they slept in too. So it's like, all right, we're sleeping in, we're having us some fun. But I know that they're going to sleep in way later. We actually stayed there the weekend before we got the puppies. And I was up, did an hour of yoga, my morning routine, read a couple chapters of a book, meditated, all before anybody else in the house awoke. So I'm like, I can get my stuff done. So if I wanted to work, it's fine. So you just have to kind of figure out what's the harmony for you. But in the future, now we know, hey, what am I going to do prior to travels? Work on my scorecard. Does that help? I know that's a really long answer, Mike.
That's quality. I've just listed about 6 things there that I can do. Fantastic. Thanks for the, yeah. I personally just come into this week off under I had a difficult staffing issue going on. So, and so I'm catching up today on all the stuff that should have been done when the HR was involved. But yeah, 7 things from that. Thank you.
Brilliant. Love it.